So what is up guys, Big Boy FC here, and as you can tell by the title, we are back with a new episode of potential FIFA 15 teams and ratings. So I know I say this every episode, but I just have to explain it again because I haven't done a video for so long. So basically what this is when I predict potential like FIFA 15, what I predict their starting 11 will be, and I predict their ratings. I won't do their stats because I do stats in other videos, and if I did stats on every individual player it would take too long. So yeah, so for this episode, as you can tell, we're doing Man City. Now, I'd just like to say that this was a really hard decision for me to make, like first team players and like bench players, and there's so many people that weren't even on the bench or the first start 11 that I really wanted to put on, but I couldn't because I didn't believe they'd get to it. So yeah, so this is all my opinion. If you have a different opinion, put it down in the comments. So yeah, start off. Right, let's get on the team. So start off, I have Hart in goal. I do think he will stay first team goalkeeper as he's better than Willy Calabro or Wilfredo Calabro, whatever you want to call him. It's just that I'll just call him Calabro. Calabro will like put pressure on him, and I do believe Hart will perform well this season because I do not believe I do not believe last season he performed that well, and in my opinion he's getting a bit too big to be a goalkeeper, so it's taking him longer to dive. But I've kept him at the same rating, and I do believe he does do well in most matches, and some matches he turns a bit shabby. So right back, I put Zabaleta. I put him up by 1 rating because overall he's had a pretty decent season at Man City. He's been amazing. I'm pretty sure he's like near enough played every game. I put Sanya on the bench because I just believe that Sanya would just be a bench warmer, and he made a big mistake leaving Arsenal. So yeah, so I believe that Zabaleta will be starting 11 right back. So as we can see, the centre backs we have are Company and Mangala. I've put Company up to an 87 rated as he's had an amazing season. My opinion, people might have different opinions, but maybe apart from 1 or 2 other defenders, at last season he was the best defender in the whole world. So that's my opinion. So yeah, so I'll put him up by 1 rating. I could have maybe put him up by a lot more, but I think I'm being a bit too nice here. I didn't do that. So next thing we have Mangala. Mangala officially signed earlier today. He's like number 23 or something like that. And even though he does have an informed card at left back, I was going to put him at left back, but I decided to put Clichy there. So I'll put him up by, I do believe I've put him up by 2 ratings, maybe 3. It's just that I don't really I never watched the Liga Portuguese, so I can't really tell, but from what I've heard and from my videos I've seen, he is like pretty much a tank, and I can't wait to use him next FIFA. So at left back we have Clichy. I do believe I put him down 1 rating. The reason why I say do believe is because I don't have their previous ratings anyway, and I just change them like that, and I try and guess as best I can what the old ratings were. So I do believe I put him down by 1 rating. Even though he played every game, that doesn't, well, near enough every game in the season, that doesn't really mean much. So in my opinion, he hasn't had one of the best seasons. So I just put him down by 1 rating because I just don't think he deserves to stay at 81 or go up. So as you can see, I've 3 midfielders, 3 central midfielders. So start off, you have Fernando, Torre and Lampard. Now, I've put Fernando in instead of Fernandinho because, as we all know, Fernandinho kind of had a crap season. He near enough played every single game for Man City, and he only scored 1 or 2 goals, and they were in like the last 3 games of the whole season. That's kind of ridiculous. So I believe I've put Fernando on. I've kept him at this. I do believe I've kept him at the same rating. It's just that I've never really seen Liga Portuguesa. I think he was from Liga Portuguesa. He's from Russian Liga Portuguesa. But I don't, like I said about Mangala, I've never watched it before, so I can't really like judge about him. But I haven't heard like too good news on him, but I haven't heard bad news. So I just believe he should be at the same rating. So I put Torre up by 2 ratings. Everyone would have to agree with me on this. 89 would be too much, but he's definitely been the best midfielder in the world this season. Some of his goals have been unbelievable. He's just an unreal player. For his age, about 32, he has got like the fitness of like a 22-year-old. He's just unreal. So yeah, I put Torre up by 2 ratings. Now, I believe that Lampard will be a non-rare 79 rated. That's another thing, guys. A lot of these players would have been non-rares, and the ones that I think should have been non-rares, I'll tell you, but I couldn't change them. So yeah, so I'll put Lampard down by 2 ratings and non-rares. Just that I do believe he played the first team, because obviously he's going to only be in the Man City team for until the start of the MLS, which is like in January. So I believe he'll play nearly all their games, and he will play over Fernandinho. I'll put him down by 2 ratings. Just that he did have a decent season for Chelsea, but as we all know, when players like to get older, just because of, sorry about that, just I didn't touch my controller for a long time. Just because they get old, FIFA like put down their ratings, so I'll put him down by 2 ratings. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about him. So left wing have Silva. He's played on the left side a lot this season, and I'll put him up by 1 rating. Just that 90 will be too much, but he's had an amazing season for Man City. Like I said, put him to the left wing because he has been playing on the left side a lot this season. So yeah, he's had an amazing season. Right wing we've had Nasri. I put him up by 1 rating, even though he didn't also have changed to a right wing. Although he didn't go to World Cup, which I think was ridiculous. He was amazing for Man City this season. He was brilliant. So I'll put him up by 1 rating. As we can see up strike, I have Aguero. Put him up by 1 rating. Can't really say much about him. As we all know, he is an amazing striker. And I do believe he was injured for maybe like a month of the VPL. But yeah, he came back and he just fighted and he did so well. So let's go on the bench. So start off we have Calabro. Obviously you've got to always have a goalkeeper. I'll put him up by 1 rating. Just I don't know anything. I've never seen him play before. But like I saw he had an inform. I guess that means he must have done well. So I'll put him up by 1 rating. Next thing we have Sanya. I think I'll put him down by 1 rating. Just that he nearly, like a lot of these other players, he nearly played every single game for Arsenal, but that doesn't mean anything. And to be honest, he hasn't really scored any goals, and in my opinion, he hasn't. Well, I know defenders aren't supposed to really score goals, but in my opinion, he hasn't scored enough goals that a right back should, and he hasn't done as well as a right back or a full back should. So yeah. So next we have Demichelis. Put him down by 2 ratings. Just that he's like going to be 34 next season. Like I said, as you all know, he actually had a really good season for Man City, which surprised everyone. But as I said about Lampard, as they get older, they like to put down their ratings. So yeah, I put him down by 2 ratings. I've kept Fernandinho at the same rating. It's just that I know I was just complaining about him playing like, nearly enough every single game and hardly scoring, but to be honest, he was actually playing he was a pretty decent midfielder. So I don't believe he deserves an upgrade or a downgrade. No, actually, I do believe I put him up by 1 rating. Yeah, I believe I put him up by 1 rating. It's just that, like I said, I might have said loads of stuff about him. It's just he is actually a decent midfielder, but I just don't believe that with the games he played, he didn't get a right amount of goals. So yeah, so that's my opinion. So next to him we have Navas. Put him up by 1 rating. He has an amazing first season for Man City. He is just amazing. I can't wait to use him next year, and I can't really say much about him. Right, now we have Milner. I've put him to a non-rare. He is a fucking donkey. He is too big. I'll put him down by 1 rating. He's too big, too slow. I just hate him. He's so bad. Man City should just sell him. To start off for the first 2 seasons from Aston Villa, he did really well, and he just started going downhill. He's put on so much weight. He's so slow. It's unreal. You could sell him and get about, I'd say between 10 to 15 mil, if I'm honest. Well, maybe less than that, but yeah, you might as well sell him and get loads of money for him. So finally, we have Jovetic. I've kept him at the same rating. For a first season for Man City, he probably hasn't played as many games as you would have liked to play, but overall, he is an amazing striker, and we can't really judge him from a few games when he did. Well, I say a few, I mean like half or 3/4 of the season, but he has scored a lot of goals. So yeah. So yeah, guys, this is today's episode. As we know, I did Man City. So tell me the team. Tell me in the description. I say description. Tell me in the comment section what team you'd like me to see next. What team you'd like me to do next. So yeah, guys, being Big Boy FC here. Comment, like, subscribe on the video. Love you guys. Adios.